Hey, so I want to look at n8n, which is an agent building platform. And there are two ways of running this. So you can obviously come in here and go to n8n.io and sign up to the cloud version. But there is also this version on GitHub, which is open source, and you can run it for free on your machine right away. So we want to run this on our local machine, and I'll show you a simple way to run that. And then we want to build on whatever we do in our beginner section and then move towards an advanced agent as well. So let's get started. So if I come down here, you can see there are two ways of running this. Of course, one is with npx n8n, and you would need Node.js for that. And the other way of running this is using Docker. Now we'll run by using npx command over here, and for that you would need Node.js installed on your machine. So a simple way of getting that is go to nodejs.org and hit on this download button and download this. Maybe version 20 is good for it, but there are other ways of installing, like using nvm and other things, which we are not going to go into. So let's come in here and use this command. I'll copy this and open my terminal and I'll run it over there. So here I'm in my terminal. I'll hit on this npx n8n and we'll click on proceed, and this will take a while for it to download everything and then start it up in my local machine. So now it says the editor is accessible at this address, so I can just do command and click on it, and this will open up a screen where I can set up my account. So once I've created my account and signed in, I'm on the screen where we can start from scratch or test a ready to go AI agent example. We are going to go with start scratch, and here is a simple view of our n8n dashboard, and I click on add first step. We get a few options over here, and I can also click on templates, and this will bring me to a new window where we have loads and loads of workflow automation templates that people have built, and you can directly use them in your project or even just to test out and understand how they've built this themselves. So let's get started by building a simple calculator that just gives us an idea about how to go from a chat input and do some simple processing and then get an output. So this will be a bare bones, beginner friendly AI agent, and we're not trying to go into too many complex things. So let's keep it simple. So the first thing that we want to do is I'll just collapse this and I'll add my first step. And here I'm going to choose on chat messages. So what I'm going to do here is click on settings button and then just say this is my first chat set box, and we'll also say we want to display it in our flow as well. And then whenever you want to get out of this model sort of thing that you see here, you can click on back to canvas, and you'll see we have our first element placed here. And to move around the canvas, I just use my scroll wheel or my mouse, and I can just move it around like this. So we have a way to receive an input. So let's keep moving in building our calculator. So you can see a plus mark over here, and okay, before this, if you want to rename this, you can come into the three dots over here and click on rename. We'll just say chat window, and next step we'll click on this plus over here. So this is how you build an orchestration or the next sequence of steps that you want to enable within our agent. So the first things first, you can come in here and look at all the things. So I can say action in app or data transformation, but I can also create a flow. So once here I'll click on advanced AI, and here we can see AI agent. So let me just click on this, and it pops up a model again with a few options over here. So if I just go back to canvas, you'll start to see that we have a chat window, and then the data from here is actually flowing into our AI agent. And if I zoom in, you'll see that there is a chat model, memory, and a tool, and then some output at this end as well. And let's go back into our agent by double clicking into it for a second. So you'll see the name of the agent is just tools agent, and the prompt source, which is an important one, is the chat trigger node, and this is the one that we've already connected to. If you look at here, it's already connected to the chat window. So first things first, we want to create or link our chat model. So if I click on this plus over here, you'll see all the models that are available in n8n. So we want the OpenAI chat model. So I'll just click on this, and we need the credentials now. So this is when you would want to come to platform.openai.com, sign up here, and you can come into API keys and create your own key. So you can create your secret key over here. So we'll call it n8n test for project. I'm going to just leave it at default and then click on create secret. So once you do that, you'll be presented with another model within OpenAI where you can copy your secret key and come back to your local host or your n8n instance and click on this credentials to connect with, and we'll say create credential. So here we'll paste in our API key and then click on save, and then we can close this. So for the model, I'm just going to leave it at GPT-4o mini just because the cost is very low for GPT-4o mini, and it's also also one of the best models out there for that price. So the next node that we have over here is the memory. And if I click on memory, you'll see we have a few options. You can of course go with saving your chat history into Postgres, Redis, and all these databases. But for simplicity, we are going to select Windows buffer memory, and this is probably easiest. And to explain what this does, is just storing all the chat history, and you can select here the context window where you can say, hey, I want my last 5 messages to be sent along with my new message as context or a history. So we are going to leave it at 5, and it's connected to the connected chat trigger node as well, so that is fine. If I come back to my canvas, so this is all good. So the next step is to add a tool. So if I click on this, you can see all the tools that are available at our disposal, and we look at some of the advanced ones in the next section. But for now, let's just keep it simple and go with a calculator. So if I click on calculator, there's no parameters and some notes that you can put in your settings, but otherwise it's all okay. So I come back to canvas, and there we have it. This AI agent is ready to go and take your input, communicate it with the OpenAI, and then save it into a simple buffer memory, and also use a calculator if needs to. So now that we are at this phase, we can go in and save. So this says the workflow is successfully saved, and I can click on this chat button over here that's appeared. So if I do that, I have controls to move it up and down, and within this chat I can start typing in my messages. So I could just say what is 10 plus 10, and then hit on this, and you'll see some things happen over here, and then finally we get successful message. And if I just bring this down or you click on hide chat, you'll see each one of these has a tick on it. So I can just go back to chat again, and I can look at the answer that we got, which is 10 plus 10 20, and I can add another thing. So what is the square root of it? And again, this is the second message, and we have the result over here, and we have also some light ups over here in green, which is saying it all ran fine. So that's good, but let me expand this out and start exploring what we have exactly in here. So there are a few options over here, but the one that I'm most interested in is the window buffer memory. So if I just con that, you'll see all the inputs and the system messages and the outputs that we got. So the first instruction that we gave it was what is 10 by 10 was the first message, and then subsequently we have the what is the square root of it, and we have the context or the previous messages that are being stored in our buffer memory. So now that we've done this, I can just click on this close button and then come to execution, and you'll see we have had a few executions over here. So I can just click on the first one, the second one, third one, if we want to go in and dig deeper and see what exactly happened there. But I can come back to my editor now and then click on this delete button, which will clean up and clear all the executions that we have over here. And if I click on chat again, you'll see the history is all wiped out and it's a clean state that we can restart again.